Now, the Transport Ministry has officially launched the 2019 Easter Road Safety Campaign. The campaign focuses on alcohol abuse as it remains a big factor in road fatalities. For more on the campaign in Gauteng, we're on the line to JMPD spokesperson, Superintendent Wayne Minnaar. A very good evening to you, Superintendent. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Is there anything peculiar to Gauteng in this road safety campaign?
Good evening. Yes. JMPD will, without a doubt, be using the EBAT machine. Now, the EBAT alcohol breathalyzer is a little bit more sophisticated because it doesn't require a blood sample. What it does is gives you a printout, and this printout is then attached to the docket, which is handed in at the police station where the drunken driver is arrested and where the case is then held, so that the process of getting to court is a lot quicker. So it is a little bit more sophisticated, the system, than the old blood or the method of drawing blood.
So how is it more sophisticated? Because you get instant results, or just take us through the process and how it works?
Yes, so when a drunken driver gets arrested on the side of the road, they get tested on a screening machine. If, according to the screening machine, the person has consumed alcohol, the driver is then placed under arrest and is taken to the bus where they have to do a breathalyzer test on the EBAT instrument. Now, the EBAT instrument gives a printout, and this printout is given to the officer, the arresting officer, who places the printout on the docket. This printout contains the person's name, the date, the case number, the reading, very importantly, to be able to indicate that the person has consumed more alcohol than what is legally permitted. And then,
Superintendent, one of the things that the Minister Nzimbande said when he launched the breathalyzer was that it will record, or rather take the lowest level recorded officially. So is that something that is a directive to all Metro Police officers, or is it something they're going to have to interpret? Because we know that they don't necessarily apply the breathalyzer, including the process equally or in the same way.
No, the EBAT instrument, as we use it in Johannesburg, has been approved by the Director of Public Prosecution. So this instrument gives you a reading which is instant, and it is in line with national regulation, which is, as the Minister had stipulated, the lower reading, or the reading appropriate for the person to be charged on. And that is how we are going to be dealing with all of the drunken driving cases this Easter weekend in Johannesburg.
So, Superintendent, I see a problem right there, what you're saying, the lower reading. And I'm hearing something else. So if I blow into the breathalyzer 3 times and you say the lower reading, let's say the lowest I have is 0.01%, while my other reading could have been 1.2. If you say the lowest reading, I expect that you're saying that 0.01% is the official reading that's going to be taken. So please clarify, what do we mean by the lower reading?
You see, the instrument, it gives a reading which is adequate. If there's insufficient breath into the machine, it will not give a reading. So it has to take sufficient air into the machine to give a reading, and that reading is what will be attached to the docket, and that is how the docket will be presented to court for the person to be charged.
Okay, so will there be a reclassifying of drunk driving as a higher schedule offence in terms of the Criminal Procedures Act?
No, that is for the Department of Justice to determine. The job of the officers is to test the driver on the side of the road if they think the person has consumed alcohol, to do a breathalyzer test, and if the person is over the legal limit, the person gets arrested, and the person then has to appear before court.
Okay, so what else will you be focusing on? Because we know that pedestrian deaths also contribute to the high number of fatalities, and there's reckless driving. So take us through some of the hotspot areas that you'll be looking at and behavior you'll be monitoring.
Yes, there has been educational campaigns in the hotspot areas to get people aware of the fact that if they're going to be walking, not to walk across busy roads after having consumed alcohol, especially at night, because of the judgment that is affected. And then also when they're walking at night, to wear bright-colored clothes, and also to appeal to motorists that if they see a pedestrian on the side of the road or near to the road, to be cautious and to be wary of the fact that there's a possibility that the pedestrian could want to cross the road and then step into the roadway. And also to bear in mind that if a pedestrian does get harmed or killed, it is the driver who gets charged for culpable homicide.
So very quickly, for your road safety campaign, have you already started counting if there is going to be a recorded number of deaths during this period? Has that started, or when do you start counting?
No, look, that is determined by the National Department of Transport and the RTMC, if you're looking at the provincial and national figures. But as for Johannesburg, the official launch will be tonight, with the chief of the JMPD, Gauteng, will launch the Easter campaign near Southgate in Johannesburg.
All right, thank you very much. That is JMPD spokesperson Superintendent Wayne Minnaar. Let's take you back to Stephen now.